Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Can light and darkness occupy the same space at the same time? We've talked about this before. Absolutely not. All you need is a spark of light, and it eliminates the darkness. So can creativity and negativity occupy the same space at the same time? Absolutely not. Creativity in and of itself can wipe out the negativity, or you can let the negativity wipe out the creativity. But they cannot occupy the same space at the same time. So what's the antidote? Recently I was talking with Mark Bodner, who is an extremely successful business owner, and we were talking, and he says, Lee, can gratitude and hate occupy the same space at the same time? Can you be grateful and have hatred at the same time? And I thought about it and said, no, not at all. And he says, so what then is the antidote to hatred? Wow, maybe it's gratitude. He said, can jealousy or envy occupy the same space at the same time as gratitude? Can you be envious and have gratitude, or can you be jealous and have gratitude at the same time? And I thought about it and said, no. So what's the antidote to jealousy? It's gratitude. Cicero said, gratitude is the mother of all virtues. And so recently I started thinking about the word celebrate. I've often defined celebration as an outward display of gratitude. And science shows that by practicing gratitude and celebration, that we prime our brains to be more open to new ideas that are creative, efficient, and effective. We prime our brains to open, that opens it up. So celebrating means more than just noticing, but taking time. Perhaps it's just a moment to be genuinely grateful. So practice your gratitude. Make it a habit. First thing when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? Recently, I tried this last weekend. In every prayer and in every meditation, I used the word celebrate throughout. I celebrate this day. I celebrate my health. I celebrate my wife, my children. I celebrate my energy, my intellect. I celebrate. And everything was focused in on that celebration, and it gave me a different feeling. Try it. Try to reach it. What are those things that you can celebrate? So if you start each meeting with your team with celebration, you'll prime your team's brains to be better. If you start each family dinner with specific celebrations to help them cultivate an appreciation for what is good in their lives, you prime their brains. Celebrating doesn't mean that you ignore what isn't going well. It means cultivating what does go well so you can better manage, keep in perspective, and change what isn't going well. It's also a critical part of self-care, to put your mind and brain into that frame. So what is there left to celebrate? Yes, we can celebrate these wonderful things, but if we're truly going to progress in what I call the path of sustainable prosperity, then we get to be grateful for things that we might not consider to be good. We celebrate our mistakes for the learning we gain from making them. We celebrate our losses for the reminder of the gift that it was. We can celebrate our hurts because they attune us to our humanity. We can celebrate the transgressions against us because they help us be clear about who we want to be in this world. We can celebrate relationships we may have lost for what we have learned and for the possibility of having even more or even better relationships as a result. In today's world, it's so obvious to us that hatred is not the solution. Gratitude is the solution. So even with your enemies, look for ways that you can celebrate. Look for ways that you can reach out and help them and be in action and celebrate what is right with this country. Because what is right with this country is what will fix what is wrong with this country. And it all begins with gratitude. So this week, would you think of the word celebrate in your mind when something goes right and when something goes wrong? and see if it doesn't open up your mind to be more receptive to even greater ideas, more effective, more efficient ideas as your brain continues to consider these. It's my challenge for you today, my challenge for you this week. Let's celebrate, shall we? I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.